Have a little boogie on that intro music.
Well,
I love
hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Sunday, the 21st of February, 2001. West Ham United 2, Tottenham Hotspur 1. I'm guessing you're happy with that, Big Duke, are you?
Listen, I put in my prediction last night, 2-1 West Ham. I would have preferred it to be a little bit more comfortable, 2-1. Not going to lie, but the job was done. I'm not going to. I'll go more into it a bit in a bit when we hit some more questions, etc. But for me, that was a perfect kind of performance there. You know, they defended doggedly. When we went forward, we went so with a bit of desire. 4 shots, 4 on target. 2 goals. I mean, what more do you need? I mean, I can imagine that, you know, the Spurs fans are not going to be happy with the way that Spurs plays. If I was in their shoes, I wouldn't be happy with the way they played. I mean, they weren't impressive in a sense of that they were strong. I'm just going to do something, mate. Give me a second because it's irritating me. Wait. Oh, I've done it. I've hit the wrong button. I'm having a blinder. Hang on. That's what I want to do. I keep disappearing behind it because I keep swinging my chair. I just listen. I think we. I don't know. I just think we were brilliant. In all fairness, I think we played. We came out with a game plan. I think Moyes set us up in a way that we needed to do a job, and we came out. We looked good. From the first whistle, I mean, what was the time of the first goal there? 5 minutes? Yeah, it's there. Look.
5 minutes. Yeah.
I was in a watch along with family and friends, and the comments were that Lloris has got to do better. I personally think it was a bloody good save. It's unfortunate that it's rebounded like it's rebounded to, literally at the feet of Antonio, to the point that he took his time. He kind of, he looked like an old man getting up off the floor. He looks like me getting out of his chair when we've done this video. But he took his time getting up and he tapped it home. I mean, it was the perfect start, Rob. Like, you couldn't have asked for more. Yeah. What about you? What was your take on that first 15, 20 minutes?
Well, I think that the first sort of 5 minutes up to the goal, I think we did exactly what I wanted us to do, which was to have a fast start, and the goal was, absolutely. I mean, my son Owen was actually on his way out to his girlfriend, and I think he got about 3 doors down, and he heard me just scream, roar, with excitement, and it was. We listen. We had less of the ball. I mean, if I had to really nitpick, probably the thing that was the disappointment was didn't retain possession that well. From my point of view, that was probably the one thing. Our passing accuracy let us down.
Yeah,
but it's one of those. As far as today's concerned, the only stat I really cared about was the one in the top left of the screen on the commentary.
Yeah,
if we'd have had 99, or if they'd have had 99% of possession, and we'd have had sort of 20% pass accuracy, if we'd have won 2-1, who cares? Who cares?
Well, yeah, you know what? For the most part, mate, I make you spot on. I was just trying to catch a couple of things on my phone there, and to be fair, I mean, like you say. We kind of, again, my gripe with the we let their back four have the ball and we kind of set up. But it seemed to me that when we went, and again, I'm just going to jump ahead a bit, but when we went 2-0 up, that's when Spurs started to attack. They were comfortable with the ball and they had the ball in the first half, 1-0 up, they knocking it around. But at no point in that first half, and again, I'll ask the guys in the green room in a bit, I didn't feel uncomfortable. I didn't feel. I certainly didn't feel like I did in the last 15, 20 minutes in the first half. I felt we were in control. Although we didn't have the ball as much as I would have liked to have done, I still felt we were in control. I still didn't feel like they were going to carve us open. They didn't look like they had that dangerous ball in them. So, listen, we went in at half-time 1-0 up, and I thought we were fully deserving of it. Fully deserving.
You say the guys in the green room, and I can see you in there, guys. If you're sitting there thinking that I don't know you there, the three of you, I can see you. So, don't worry. So I'm now going to hit the button, and we're going to introduce guest number 1, which is my younger brother who's been on a few times. So those of you that are regular watchers will be aware this is Ben. And how you doing, bro? So that's guest number 1.
Top of the world.
You better be. Guest number 2, again, a regular contributor to the show, James Snedden from the Anvil. How are you doing, sir?
I'm good. How are you?
What do you reckon, mate? What do you reckon? I am absolutely cock a hoop. And finally, from the green room, we're going to bring in. This is his first time on the show, but we've crossed paths along with on sort of like Hammers Chat and My Hammers 11, various other streams. James, how you doing, my friend?
Over the moon, gentlemen. Absolutely over the moon. Loving life.
Mate, it's what a time to be alive. 4th place in the Premier League. We've just beaten Tottenham, taken 4 points off of them. Magnificent.
Absolutely.
Beautiful.
So okay, Ben. Over to you first off. Give me your synopsis on the match.
Well, do you know what, mate? I think Moisey sprung a few lads, really. We played well against Sheffield United, wing back. Ben, one of the best players against the. You know what I mean? He took on the bench. Been biding his time was in, but every decision makes turns, in my opinion. You know what I mean?
Ben,
he's
Ben.
Yeah.
Have you got somewhere you can go? The signal's not very good. We're not really getting much of this, mate. Is there somewhere else you can go in the household?
Yeah, I'll try, mate. I'll try.
All right, mate. We'll come
Go
to
to
you
someone
again in a
else.
sec. Yep. So, James, thoughts?
Yeah.
Me or him?
Which one do you want first?
James. Sorry, you both James, of course. Yeah, I'll tell you what. We'll go Fat Boy. How you doing? You go for you.
Right. What do I think of the game? I thought it was another professional performance, mate. Again, I thought we started off well. If you want me to be honest, I thought Declan Rice proved today that he's a world-class central midfield player. The way he played from start to finish, he was there. He was everywhere. He kept Kane quiet. We started off well, got the goal. Then after that, then we started to sort of give them the ball a bit too much, and they was getting the ball, passing it around, and basically trying to get through. But this team now looked like a solid unit, and I'm proud. I'm a proud West Ham fan at the minute, and I'm proud to see the team performing so well. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
And as all fans here right now, we've seen some shit, and now we're starting to see a team that's looking fresh. It's looking good. They're playing for each other. They're running after every ball. They're fighting for every header. Souček getting stuck in today, gets a smack in the face, claret all over his face, turns around and gets up and starts defending again. Like, that's what we've wanted at our club for a hell of a long time. I thought Kafal was kept Song completely quiet, and he was just first class. It was a great team performance today.
I completely agree. And I mean, you say about Souček and Rice. I mean, Souček getting basically his face opened up, and you say spilling the claret all over the pitch. And it didn't look like at any point he had any intention of relinquishing his spot on the pitch to anyone. And, by hook or by crook, we had to get him back out there, and that's no disrespect to the guys that we had on the bench, but he's our top goal scorer. So if we was to have lost him for an hour, I think it may have been a different outcome. But you're absolutely right. I mean, Moyes. I mean, I was on with Gio and Charlie a little bit earlier on Hammers Chat, and there just seems to be a sort of like a real team bond, a work ethic, a never say die attitude that he's really fostered within the squad, within the unit. And it's incredible because sort of like when you look at sort of like how the centre back sort of pairing has gone, sort of like the personnel that we've had at centre back, there's been a lot of chopping and changing. I mean, we started, if I remember rightly, with Ogbonna and Diop. Then it was Ogbonna and Balbuena. Then we changed formation. We then had Cresswell introduced as a centre back, 3 at the back. Then we shifted back to 4 at the back. Balbuena comes in. Balbuena drops out. Dawson comes in. Ogbonna drops out. Diop comes in. There's been a lot of shifting around, and you're sitting there thinking, at which point are we going to see a bit of a tail off in the performance, in the sort of like the discipline, the sort of like the solidness at the back. And at no point have we really seen that. It's been quite incredible. And now we're in an interesting position because we've obviously just come off of this performance. If we can maybe put in a couple of performances back to back where we have Diop and Dawson performing as a pairing, how does Ogbonna get back into the team? And that's an interesting thing because up to this point, he's probably been at least one of the standout candidates for Hammer of the Year. And yet we're talking about, he may actually find it difficult to get back in.
What it is, if I'm going to be honest here, there's one man that I will say has changed the mentality of the club, and that's Declan Rice.
Yep.
Since he has become captain of this club, we look a completely different team going forward, right? No disrespect to Mark Noble. I love Mark Noble. He's local to me. He's a West Ham boy through and through. Right, I've got a lot of respect for Mark Noble. 16 years service at a club. He deserves the respect for the amount of stuff he's had to go through with West Ham. But since Rice has come in as captain, we look like a completely different team. We look like we can attract young players who want to go and play with Declan and Souček and all the other lads. And I think that is what's inspiring us to do so well this season. Like the team is performing. We've signed well. Like, I'm not being funny or nothing, but we was looking at signing Tarkowski for 35 million.
Oh,
and Dawson, Dawson is outperforming Tarkowski. He's only costing 3. So as a fan, right, and we're all fans here, we've seen some hard times at West Ham. We've seen us go through misery. I mean, getting smashed against Oxford, getting beat at Wigan, getting beat at Wimbledon in cup games, getting laughed about. And now it looks like the roles have reversed, and we look like a team that is basically to be feared. Like, whereas there's times before where teams have been going, you know what, we go to Stratford and we roll West Ham quite comfortable. Do you know what I mean? There's only one team I fear in this league at the minute, that's Manchester City, because I just class them as a machine. And they seem just to go like they've
winning
but
right
when
now.
You're putting in when you put millions and millions and millions into it, you're gonna get a world class team. Do you know what I mean? So yeah,
100%, absolutely. And of course we got them coming up the next game, so it'll be interesting to see how Moyes sets up the personnel, the shape. You know, I mean, there's always the possibility. You know, is he? And I'm not saying he will. May he look at that and think maybe that's the opportunity? Because to be fair, with the best will in the world, are we realistically going to go there with the form that they're in? And are we going to go there and get 3 points? Is there a case, do you think, maybe for giving a couple, I'm not saying making wholesale changes, but maybe making a few little tweaks here and there, do you think?
If it was me, I would rest Antonio. Give him a rest. Like, yeah, I mean,
That's
I thought
really who I'm thinking of.
Yeah, like, I'm not being funny. Harry was on the pitch for 90 minutes today. I don't know. Like, he was just on there, but he must be fit.
Yeah.
I think City's a game. Yeah. If we go and beat City, then that's completely then we're like going well above our expectations if we start beating Manchester City on their own patch. Not saying we can't.
That would be absolute. Anything's possible. Anything's possible.
Yeah.
I mean, what was it? Earlier this season, I think it was about November time, and City were 10th. So they're not unbeatable, right, by any stretch of the imagination. But the form that they're in is something else. But James from the Anvil. Sorry, James Fatboy. This is going to be really confusing. So I'll go Fatboy and I'll go Anvil. Let's just make it simple. So okay. Anvil, talk to me.
I think it was a win against a team that was a bit deflating, that's not been in very good form. West Ham in the past have struggled against teams that have been struggling. Like I said in the preview yesterday, West Ham have been a charity case to teams that have been struggling and helping them to get their form back on track. We weren't charity case today. I think we started giving them the damage very early on in the game, taking a 1-0 lead after 5 minutes. But it's a bit unfortunate for Lloris because he thought that the ball was going to get contacted by Antonio. But Antonio does well to get on the rebound and fire it in. I think in that first half, we just dominated Spurs offensively. And it was something they needed to change. And before the second half started, I didn't understand why they took off Lamela and put on Bale, because I thought Lamela had a decent first half for them. But they put on Bale, who I thought, well, he's been crap ever since he turned to Spurs. What's he really going to do? I think second half we need to start it off with a kick again. Lingard got the goal, and I would have been annoyed if that had been actually stood as a disallowed decision, because I was watching the replays and saying, "Oh, he's definitely onside. He's in line for that." So they all celebrate, doing a little rock band celebration with Rice on the drums, and after that, the West Ham had a choice. We could either continue to attack or go all park the bus and defensive. I think the Spurs started to go more attacking after they went 2-0 down as a reactionary measure. And they put a little bit of nerves into us when they went 2-1 up when Lucas Moura scored. But even though Spurs had a lot of attack in that second half, I wasn't scared of them, really. I mean, it was nerve-wracking, don't get me wrong, but I wasn't scared of them. I don't think they really were that strong in terms of the big numbers, but we just had to stick our ground as defensive unit. Diop, Sofal were fantastic. Rice was fantastic. Lingard got a goal, really good performance. Everyone today put in a shift, and for West Ham it just gets better and better. We just prove against big teams that we're not someone to be rolled over, even though we may be small in squad size and all that. We actually can get jobs done, and we are a bit of a diamond in the rough.
He seems to have added quite a bit of steel and determination to the squad, in my opinion. He really, there seems to be, I don't know whether it's maybe a Scottish thing, but there seems to be a lot of grit, determination, fight, courage, call it what you want, team ethic. And you're right. I mean, sort of like we don't, even the games that we have lost in the league this season, I think I'm right in saying the only game that we've looked at on the scoreboard that we've sort of like looked at and it's been quite disappointing was the Chelsea away. But even that game, when you look at it, I mean, you know, I think for an hour we were the better team in that game. It was definitely just that we couldn't put the ball in the back of the net for whatever reason.
It's a learning curve.
The only game I would say is the Newcastle one at the start of the season, which is like the worst performance. It's the worst one where we just didn't perform at all. But other than that, every team, like even the Arsenal game, we played absolutely phenomenal, and still couldn't get the ball in the back of the net. It was like that invisible walled up or something. But I totally agree with you, mate.
So Ben, you're in a room where we've got some decent Wi-Fi, are you?
I hope so.
We're about to find out. So bro, talk me through your thoughts.
I don't know what you heard of what I initially said, but in summary, mate, again, Moyes made a couple of changes from Sheffield United. I mean, Moyes, everything he touches turns to gold in terms of team selection, tactics. He can't do any wrong at the moment. You know, you look at that front four today. Lingard's got a goal, Antonio's got a goal, Fornell's got an assist, and so did Bowen. So those lads that are paid to deliver goals and assists have done it. Yeah. We were solid. I mean, Mourinho, fair play to him. I actually listened to his post-match interview on TalkSport, and I actually thought he was spot on, right? I do actually think Spurs were the better team in overall in terms of.
Okay.
I mean, they had 20 shots against our 4,
Okay.
but at the end of the day, what Mourinho said, he went, West Ham fought. They didn't necessarily play in the second half. Our lads were putting their bodies on the line. Souček's got stitches in his head. That tackle from Rice in the last sort of 10 minutes when Kane's put it in, that was worth a goal. That is a goal-saving tackle.
Class. That was world
You
class.
know, and I've got to be honest, right? I think Rice is fantastic footballer. I actually don't think he had one of his best games in terms of keeping the ball today. I think he gave the ball away.
I don't
but
think
what he
anyone did
done,
in claret and blue.
yeah, exactly. But I'm not picking holes at all, because what we done was, you're not going to play intricate football every week. But what we done is, we're 2-0 up. We are not getting beat, and we won because those boys put their body on the line. Dawson, I mean, listen, I know there's a lot of good centre halves out there. In the last 10 games, he's got to be up there with the best English centre halves in the league. I know he's not going to get a look in for England, but you look, Cresswell, Dawson, Rice, Lingard. We're 4th in the league. These boys have got to be in Southgate's contention. Do you know what I mean? Rice definitely will be. The way Lingard started, Lingard, he's got a point to prove, and you can see it. And the thing that I think he's done is the thing he does that not many of our other players do. He'll have a shot from anywhere, left foot, right foot. He's having a dig, and I just think, results mean everything. And if they'd have nicked one, right? If Spurs had nicked a draw, you could have thought, we should have done this, we should have done that. All that matters is we won, we're 4th, and those lads have worked their nuts off to get that result. And I think that's the most pleasing thing, that it was a battle that we won. And we got a bit of luck, Bale hitting the bar, that thing off the post. But we earned our luck for how hard we worked, in my opinion.
I think there's a big thing. I believe that the old saying that the harder you work, the luckier you get.
Absolutely.
I really do believe that. And I think that we absolutely earned our luck. I don't think anyone can turn around and say that we were purely lucky. We worked our socks off. Every man, I mean, let's put it like this. They had 20 shots. They only got 4 on target, and they only scored with 1. We had 4 shots in the whole match. All of them were on target. Half of them were in the back of the net. Now, you can dress it up whatever way you want. The word I'll use for is efficient.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely, man.
I don't know where I think I've gone.
As my dinner in the dog. Right now, I haven't even got dinner. I'm not too sure that. I'm not too sure she's making me one.
Who needs a dinner when you're in the top 4 and you've just beat Spurs? You don't need a dinner, do you?
I can order a kebab. I can order an Indian. It's not a problem. And she'll have forgotten all about it by tomorrow. It's fine. It's fine. She's used to it. So, but I don't know who it is that sent that, because it just comes up Facebook user. But I'm going to take a wild stab in the dark here, and I reckon that might be a certain David Jenkins. I don't know. It might be, but there you go. But so, Anvil, I'm going to come to you. So, our remaining fixtures, if I just get them up, we've obviously got Manchester City next week. But looking at the remaining fixtures, and I'll bring this to all of you guys sort of individually, but we're away to Manchester City next.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Leeds at home following that, Manchester United away, Arsenal at home. Then it starts to change a little bit, because you look at some of those fixtures and you're thinking, but Wolves away, Leicester at home, Newcastle away, Chelsea at home, Burnley away, Everton at home, Brighton away, West Brom away, Southampton at home. So we're 4th at the minute with 45 points. What do you believe is a realistic minimum that we should be looking to achieve?
Minimum points tally, I would say at least 60 points, just as a ballpark figure. It is very doable. It can be achieved. Man City next weekend, as we've established, it is a tough game. Obviously, they're on another record-breaking winning streak. They're winning right now against Arsenal. We shouldn't be scared of them either way. I mean, they're just another Premier League team to us. Well, no, it's no more of this with us. Oh, we've got this to play. We got this to play. We're going to get battered. There's no more of that, really. I don't think Moyes wants the attitude of being defeatist before the ball's being kicked. So Man City, we definitely can get something out of course. Leeds United, we can obviously get something out of that.
Yeah, definitely.
We can get anything out of all of these games, in all honesty, if we just play the right way and do the right things. There's no game where we can now look at and say we're going to lose this anymore. There's no negativity, really, even before the ball's kicked, because it's all just a case of seeing what happens through the 90 minutes and then making a judgment. But the way the team plays on the pitch is just it's just completely different to what we were hoping for, and it's getting out the good results. So who knows?
Duke?
I complete agreement with James there, Anvil James. With other than City, I don't fear anyone else. Honestly, I don't. I said what I said yesterday in the preview that out of the next 6 games, I said 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats. And one of the games that I put us down for as a realistic draw in my mind was today. So straight off the bat, we're actually we have extra points in the bag from what I said from yesterday evening. So as far as I'm concerned now, we have to push on and we have to go for it. Like I say, the only team that really scare me throughout the rest of the season now is going to be City. I just think they look. They're scarily good. I mean, what we're looking at today, if they win today, is that 18?
I think so.
Is that 18 on the spin? Something stupid like that, which is like,
well,
they're
on 18. They're on 18 wins for the season thus far, excluding today. So I believe that was. I believe I'm. Really
I mean on the trot.
Thus far.
In all competitions.
On the trot, I know it. Yeah, 18 on the trot in all competitions.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Is like
they've won each
good.
of their last 5 in the league. Looking at the form guide, it's win last 5.
I mean, listen, as far as I'm concerned, we've been up there and done them before.
Oh yeah.
No, well, listen. I was watching you on Hammer's chat earlier, Nancy, and someone asked you the question of where is 5th place? Are we in the run for 5th? Now, as far as I'm concerned, screw 5th. We're in the run for 4th now. We're in the run for 4th. I don't care where it comes from. I don't care what people are going to say. Go on.
Just to sort of say, when I was asked the question, I did actually say that if I believe that Moyes is of the mentality. But he won't probably say it publicly, but I think behind the scenes, he'll be saying, we're 4th, but if we're 4th, why can't we go 3rd? Because if you look at it, yes, Manchester United, who are in 3rd, have a game in hand on us, but their form is not the best. I mean, you look at their last 5, draw, win, draw, loss, okay?
Yeah.
Then you've got Leicester, who've played the same amount of games as us, and Manchester United are only 1 point ahead, I should say. And Leicester, who have played the same amount of points as us, who we play in an upcoming fixture, they're only 4 points ahead. So who's to say we couldn't finish 3rd? And dare I say it, who's to say we couldn't actually finish 2nd? I'm not saying if anyone sort of like is watching this and thinking he's lost his marbles, I'm not saying we will, but what I'm saying is anything's possible.
Well, James, Fanboy said it the other day, didn't he, when he came on? James, I think you said it. It's not a case now of we chase down Leicester. You said it yourself in the chat, didn't you? Leicester's the one we can close the gap on.
Man, I look at it like this. It's 13 cup finals now. I don't look at it points-wise. It's 13 cup finals, right? And if then we'll see where we end up. Like, if we start thinking that we're going to get Champions League, then it puts pressure on the team. You don't want that. Right, just carry on. 13 to go. Next week will be 12.
West Ham Champions League. I've got goosebumps. Oh, it's great. I love it.
And the thing is, what we're all sort of mentioning here with the teams that we've got coming up is they're all playing Europe now. They're all playing European football. They're all playing like Europa League football. So we're going to be meeting Leicester soon when they've been playing on a Thursday night. Like, obviously, you got Leeds and you got Chelsea coming up towards the end of that big run, and you got Man United, you got Arsenal. So we can do it. But it's just the way I look at it is now is that we was all sort of, many people was thinking about, we'll go for the FA Cup. Now that hasn't worked out. Now treat 13 games now like the FA Cup final and go from there. Basically, that's the way I look at it.
Well, we've got to worry about what we're doing. As far as I'm concerned now, let's worry about us, right? Let's not. I know someone posted on. I saw a Facebook post. I think it was yesterday. Around the Chelsea Southampton game, and they said, Southampton have done us a favour there, and someone made a comment of, listen, stop worrying about expecting favours from other clubs, stop worrying about what the other clubs are doing, and let's just go out and do. And you know what, spot on. As far as I'm concerned, he didn't word it in a way, I have to say, I thought the geezer responded like he was a bit of a dick personally, but his sentiment was right, and it was, you know what, let's let every other team in that top 6, top 7, top 8 worry about what we're doing. Let's go out and do us. If we go out and do us and they slip up, then that's on them, but let's go out and do us.
Let's be honest here. Let's be truthfully honest here. All the pressure is on these teams. It ain't on us. Like, we're not expected because we're not expected to get there. So basically, we could just relax, carry on, and like let Liverpool fall apart. And like Chelsea, I think Leicester's the team that we can catch. I do believe that. Yeah. I think the longer they're in the Europa, the more chance we've got. If they get quite far in the Europa, they might think, you know what, Europa League, Big Cup, and all that. They might start slipping in the league. You know, that's the team I think we can definitely catch.
I think they'd rather the trophy at the end of the season than a league position. In much the same way that we were a few weeks ago. Let's not all sit here and piss ball around. We know damn well that every single one of us sat here 2 weeks ago would have loved the FA Cup final. Let's not mess around. We'd love to have lifted that trophy at the end of the season. But that weren't to be. You know, Leicester have still got that chance. Man U have still got that chance. You know, so listen. Let's worry about us. I'm not going to sit there and go, right, I need to look at the fixture list and see, right, Leicester have got them. If we win that and they lose, we can go there and etc. I don't want to be doing that. I want to go out. I want to be us. I want to turn up, play our game like we did today. Like I say, that last 20 minutes weren't exactly pretty. It wasn't even Prosecco football. It might have been like flat, cloudy lemonade shit, but it still did a job at the end of the day. Hey, Rob, I've got to say, mate, I'm feeling the cold shoulder through that camera every time she's walking behind you. I ain't going to lie to you. That's coming through. That's coming through the screen, son. I'm just saying. She ain't happy.
No, and that's perfectly fine as far as I'm concerned. Because
could you take us all off? Unplug your mic a minute. Unplug it, just so all of us sitting here can just come on you irons through your speakers. Just see if we can wind her up a little bit more.
We are massive. Just say we are massive.
We are massive indeed.
I've already covered that off, James. Don't get me in any more trouble than I'm already in.
Is anyone else looking forward to clips tomorrow now?
Oh yeah, wonder what he's going to call Gareth Bale and all that lot.
I'm just looking forward to him being triggered by their post. And
he's not going to smack up the Tiddler. That's the thing. And the astronaut's going to get hit again.
Yeah. Gareth Bale getting on to Gareth Bale just for a second. For me, that very much looks like, I think it's fairly safe to say that's a signing that hasn't worked out. But to me, he doesn't look like a Mourinho signing. That looks like a Daniel Levy signing to me.
Well, of course it is.
And it kind of reinforces the thing that I've always subscribed to is never go back. Can you name me too many players or managers that have ever gone back to a club that they've been at before and performed either as well or better than they did the first time. It's a pretty short list.
Tony Cotton.
David Moyes.
As I say,
I've done you there, Ross.
No, that's fine. I
Exactly.
did say it was, I would probably disagree with that one. I would say his first stint was better, and I would also say Tony
still
Cotton's
wearing the
first
claret
stint was
blue. I
better.
don't care. Shut up.
No, there you go. But I think that I think he's definitely been a signing that hasn't worked out. But
I think,
really.
Yeah, but the reason for that is because
Quite
Gareth
funny.
Bale was used to being the sole orchestrator behind the whole team, and when he left, Spurs had to rebuild. He's come back into a Spurs team where it's now Son and Kane running the show, and Bale's got less of a role. So to him, I think he's gone from being like a regular starter, an important first team player, to someone who's just bench fodder, who has got a man bun with a little flappy bit at the back, and
Well, he's not the same player. He's not the same player. He hasn't got the hunger for the game. The geezer's on 600 grand a week. I mean, I think we'd probably all lose a bit of the hunger we had when he was when he was first at Spurs. But he come on. He played well today. I mean, I think he will have. I think he'll force himself into the team off the back of that second half performance. But I don't really care about Gareth Bale too much.
He changed the game in their favour when he came on.
Yeah, it did to an extent.
I'm going to be really controversial here. Will Mourinho be in charge for the next game?
Yeah, I don't think. I don't think they'll sack him yet.
Possibly not. But I tell you what, you look at their current form. It's nothing to shout about. But the only thing that could save him is the fact that I read a little bit early before we come on here. It's going to cost Tottenham just the best part of 35 million to pull the trigger on him.
I think they'll wait to the end of the season. There's still a long way to go, and I think they'll wait to the end of the season to suss out where they'll be.
I think he's doing great.
I completely agree. I think
he's doing wonderful.
I think they should give him a 10-year contract. Let him.
Anyway, I want to talk about West Ham, not Spurs.
Go for it.
Yeah, it's the West Ham channel.
Let's do this. So,
bear in mind.
So are we thinking that, certainly, I think it's probably a fairly safe assumption to say that you guys are fairly confident that as a minimum expectation, top 5 should be what we're aiming for as a minimum.
No. I think
top 4.
Listen,
okay.
I wouldn't say there's any minimums or maximums. I don't think about it in that mindset. It's about performance. If we play well, and our players go out and give it 110%, then if we fall down and finish 7th, I'll still be happy because we've put the performances in. Yeah. If we don't put the performances in, we won't finish where we should do. But I think Moyes has got the bit between his teeth. I mean, what a job Rice is doing as captain. What a young... He's motivating them players. He's got a good role model in Noble. And Rice is inspiring the players around him. Lingard's come in. He's given everyone a boost. Listen, mate, let's just fight every game. And if we finish 3rd, it exceed all our expectations. But if we don't, then we give it a good go.
I think when you sort of look at what we sort of like went through last season, and obviously sort of like the first 2 games of this, and all the carnage that was created after the Grady signing, I think where we are right now has exceeded our expectations. I think
Absolutely.
If we finished 4th, it would be fantastic. I think if you offered most fans after the Arsenal game, 2 games gone, 0 points, and said, do you fancy a mid-table finish? I think a lot of fans would have actually accepted that. But now we're where we are, 25 games gone, 4th place, 45 points. Like I say, I quite honestly think that Moyes won't be, like I say, he won't be saying it publicly, but I think that he'll be saying to the lads, okay, we're 4th. Let's try and see if we can push it one stage further.
Well, I don't think
who knows?
I don't think Moyes is in this business really. I mean, I think a lot of people aren't. No, I don't want to be in this business of saying where we'll finish and what we can do, because it makes you look stupid if you don't achieve it, and it's promising false hope to people. I'm not. I mean, when the season started, I wasn't someone who was saying, "Oh, we're going to finish here. We're going to do X, Y, Z. This is going to happen. That's going to happen." I wasn't. I was going to say, "Okay, let's give it about 10 games, go through a quarter of the season, and then make a judgment about what was going to happen." I would have taken like a 12th place finish at the start, but it was quite a nice shock to the system, if that makes sense, when we actually did get into the top 5 at first, and it changed the goals of the season. It changed what we could achieve in the season. And so I'm happy to go with the season as it is right now and just see what happens. It's no point in predicting anything.
Yeah, but what it is, you've got to seize the moment. There's such a thing as seizing the moment at that right time. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, you go back to last year when we sold Diangana, and then we bring in Ben Rama. People like the club's atmosphere was horrendous. Like people was like it was all like negative vibe. Honestly, now I look at top 7 now, like as like a minimum. I would say if we go to 7th, then whatever. Do you know what I mean? But I'm looking at it now, just 13 games. Just and see where we end up. Like we're safe, we ain't going down. I think we've got 2 world-class central midfield players in Souček and Rice. I think they are world-class, the pair of them. Like, I think Rice is just perfect. And as I said earlier, like with Rice as your captain, you will attract players to the club. And obviously, Noble's a legend. Like I love Noble. Like I grew up watching Mark Noble. But Rice now, I see a man there who's got a winning mentality. Like he don't like losing, Rice, and he proves it every time he does an interview. Like if there's anything that goes his way, he comes on there. He's fuming. He's passionate. He wants to win. And as I've said on a few platforms, this is our best moment of ever getting Champions League football, because other teams will spend next year. They will pump their teams for the money, and we won't be here. If we don't get Champions League and we get Europa League, it ain't the be all and end all, but we can dream, can't we?
See, I'm not sure I agree. I think Moyes is not here to muck about in mid-table. And I think, listen, I agree, this is a great opportunity, but I don't think we're going to be based on what I've seen, we're not going to be languishing in mid-table next season or the season after. We will get better. We got a young team. Rice, Bowen, Fornals, they're all going to improve.
Yeah, I agree, but the problem is we haven't got owners who are ambitious. Now, if we had owners who are ambitious, then I would agree with you totally. But nothing would surprise me next season. The start of the season, we go and sign Lingard and Dawson, and that's it. Because that's what the owners are like. What we've got. Do you know what I mean?
I did a recording yesterday of Two Spanners, One Hammer with Hammer's chat, and we got to the topic of Declan Rice, and I can't remember who it was, but the conversation basically went that if Declan went, and I was like, well, I've got a long memory. I remember when we let Rio go, and he was our most saleable asset then, as Declan Rice is our most saleable asset now. And for me, I think that if we were to sell Declan Rice, and it was not a move that Declan Rice agitated for, then I think that would be a backward step, in my opinion, because it doesn't matter how much money that we're going to get for him. If we get 100 million quid, there's no guarantee that that 100 million quid will be spent on an adequate replacement that can do the same as him. And I honestly believe that the Declan Rice, there are very few clubs in world football, in my opinion, that you could put Declan Rice into their midfield and he would not improve. Very few. So for me, when we was talking about it yesterday on Two Spanners, I was just like, for me, unless Declan actually comes out and says, I want to move on, I'm not.
What are we talking about selling Rice? Why are we even talking about that?
I'm talking about a conversation that I was having yesterday on another West Ham YouTube channel.
You've also got to look at it, Rob. Right? You've also got to look at it like this. We've got to have owners who are as ambitious as all of us here right now.
That's the thing that worries me. That's kind of
the
thing that worries me, James. Is that there's a possibility
they need to be forced, then, mate. I'm afraid at the end of the day, right? You can't keep every fan here right now has been up and down the land supporting West Ham. They've paid their hard-earned money to basically support this club through thick and thin. It's about time that ball start overspending for every fan now. You know what I mean? They've moved this.
How many times have they broke our transfer record?
Yeah, but it's okay then breaking the transfer record for players who don't want to be there. Do you know what I mean? Look, where are these players now?
Or even players that are wrong for what we need them to do. I mean, that for me is the key.
Pellegrini bought some bad players.
Well, it's not just that.
I mean, this is it.
Yeah, it's not just that. It's the fact we overspend. This is what West Ham do. We overspend on Hilaire, and we overspend on players, and then receive less profit for them. It's just a total GSB thing to do. And I mean, Haller wasn't worth 45 million. Okay, he wasn't, and he was worth around 20 million, which is what Ajax paid for him. But that's I say, West Ham. That's why we need this scouting and recruitment system. What makes me happy is that Moyes says he wants to change that. See, Moyes is orchestrating everything more than the people above him.
Right. Rightly so. He should be running the club. That's what the manager should do.
At the end of the day, Moyes is picking the players now, not Sullivan. And if he don't want players, I actually believe we should have got a striker in the winter window. I was like, well, what's going on here? We're relying on Antonio. You're relying on a man whose fitness record is not up to scratch. So, and when I say overspend, gentlemen, I don't mean go out and spend 20, 30, 40, 50 million pounds on a player. I mean spend in the right areas. I mean, like go out and buy yourself a left back that you need, or go out and buy a covering centre or central midfielder that we need.
That's 45 million,
Well,
45 million could have been spent on like 4 players.
Exactly. So, and it also proves it with the Kafal signing. Now, you go and sign Kafal for 5.4 million, and let's be honest, he's one of the best right backs I've ever seen at West Ham.
Yeah, since Tompkins.
Ever.
And Zabba.
We've got someone that's just jumped in. You might have noticed. Jakey boy, how are you, matey?
Yeah. Very, very good. After how.
Whoa, what's going on there?
Happy. Yeah, it's a bit of a
feedback.
Bit of a bad signal, I think you got there, Jake. Might want to work on that.
Okay. All right. Back to Zach.
All right, mate. Okay. Sorry about that, gentlemen.
No, the only fear that I do have, lads, if I'm honest, right, is we're doing well now, but then we've got to see where he's going to go in the future, like as in next season.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, we can do it right now, but I want to see our board be as ambitious as what every fan wants to be. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's what it should be for every fan up and down the land. Like I've seen, how can I put it? They took us out of our home in 2016, right, and put us in at Stratford. Now, I don't agree with it, and I haven't set foot in Stratford since, right, until they go, right, and I'm very adamant about that, because the way I look at it is what they have done is they was money, and I am very passionate when it comes to that, but I want to see them owners be like, you know what, West Ham, this is a great opportunity for West Ham now. And show the fans that you care as much as we do, if that makes sense. I don't know if you agree or not.
No, listen, I think it was Gonzo that said it on Hammer's chat. I may be wrong, so if I've got that wrong, I apologise. But I'm fairly sure it was. And he said that when we tend to have a good season, we tend to follow it with 3 or 4 either indifferent or very bad seasons. It's not very often in West Ham's history that you'll look and you'll see we've had consecutive seasons of, a good performance. It's very rare. That is the thing that kind of worries me, is that sort of will it be history repeats itself? But at the end of the day, we can't worry about that. too much. We've just got to enjoy where we are right now.
Yeah.
To be fair, we're free rolling, as James said earlier. We're on 45 points. It's already exceeded our expectations. It's now just a case of taking each game at a time and seeing where we are once game 38's finished.
I think the difference this time, in my opinion, is we got an experienced manager, and all he keeps talking about is consistency. So that's what he wants. He wants that. We're not fighting relegation. We might not. This time next season, we might not be fourth in the league. We probably won't be. Because like you say, Liverpool are going to come, Spurs are going to spend, Chelsea, Arsenal. It's a real competitive league. But we can be competitive. But in order to do that, we need to prove to players like Declan Rice we can deliver. We are ambitious. Otherwise, he ain't going to hang around for the next 3-4 years. So we just got to keep adding, nicking a top talent from the Championship, go into Eastern Europe like we have done for some value, get a 20 goal a season striker to compete with Antonio, and we can establish ourselves in that, upper ends of the league.
In connection to what you're saying about Declan Rice, what the difference between what West Ham have done if you compare it with Leicester and Southampton is Leicester have James Maddison, and he's an important player. They tied him down to a long-term deal. Southampton tied James Ward-Prowse down to a long-term deal and made him captain. If West Ham were really intent on keeping Declan Rice right now, they would tie him down and make him the permanent captain. So that's something that needs doing, because other teams have got. It's a simple thing other teams have done to keep that player. It's what we should be doing if we really, really want to keep him on.
But also, we have signed well. Sorry, Ron, I just want to say this one sec. We have signed well. Every single one of our signings has performed. Kufal's performed, Dawson's performed, Souček's performed. Bowen, he's been hit and miss over the last couple of weeks, but he's in a whole. He's been a good signing. We've signed very, very well. Do you know what I mean? And if we can get to next season in the summer and we can go out and sign 2, 3, 4 players who are good players, who we sign, they might not be the names, because let's be honest, who the hell knew Kufal before he turned up at West Ham? And he's I'm sorry, but he's one of the best right backs I've seen at West Ham. And I've followed West Ham for 34 years of my life. And I've never seen a better right back. Obviously, Tim Breaker back in the days was a decent right back, but this geezer's the next level. He's got Repka, but he's got like a brain about him that he's committed to the cause. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
Eastern Europe
I like it.
Yeah.
Doesn't get sent off 2 times in 3 games or whatever it was.
Yeah, but do you know what with him though? One thing I will say about Kufal is he's street savvy, right? Yeah. He will take a booking, right? But he's one of them ones who will, you know what? He's got a bit of skull fuckery about him. Like what he done to Grealish a few weeks ago was excellent. You know what I mean?
It was pretty brutal, wasn't it?
Yeah, and I like that in a player. And that's what we need, because West Ham's always been known for being soft, like a soft team. You know what? We just go through them easy. But now we're not soft. And let's be honest. If you take, I will go back to Spurs for 1 sec, and I'll let you bring Jake in. If you take Kane and Son out of that team, are Spurs any better than us? Really?
No, they're not.
With their players?
No.
And that's the way I look at it. Do you know what I mean? We're a work in process, but we're getting there slowly. But the old West Ham way is dying, and the new West Ham way looks fresh. Proper fresh.
Absolutely. So, Jake, have you sorted out your internet connection, mate?
Is that better?
That's much better, mate. So go on, talk to me.
Oh, well, what a day. What a day. I mean, Arsenal are losing, happy days. We've won, even more happy days. I mean, what a performance out there. We defended like absolute troops out there, and we got the goal early on, superb, happy days. We were 5 minutes in, we were 1-0 up, we were all loving life, we were all thinking we're going to win the league. And yeah, I mean, they came into it a bit more. We responded with a goal and a couple of very nice celebrations from Jesse Lingard. And yeah, they got a goal, but I mean, we defended superbly. I mean, that's the best I've seen West Ham defend under that amount of pressure for that amount of time for quite a while, because we defended like absolute troops, and we beat Spurs. Happy days. What is it now? We're 9 points. We're 9 points above them. Forget Liverpool, forget Arsenal, forget Spurs, forget Chelsea. We're the top team in London, and it's West Ham United.
Correct.
London is
Go on,
claret
Jack.
and blue. London
Jake,
is
it ain't
claret and
always this
blue.
good, mate. Jake, I'm telling you the truth, mate. It ain't always this good. I'm telling you that now. Don't think it's like this all the time, because it ain't.
No,
Your father taught you well.
we know,
Yeah.
boys. We've got a bit of experience to bring to bear, and we know, Jake, that it's usually not as good as this. So enjoy it while it lasts. So But here's a
Yeah.
question for you, saying about sort of like the defence and Craig Dawson, and I'm led to believe that there is an agreement in place that if all parties are happy with the deal, that we get him in the summer for 2 to 3 million. Now, in my opinion, that is a no-brainer. But here's the thing. If James Tarkowski is worth 30 million, and I'll have to say I don't believe he is, but if he's worth 30 million, how much is Dawson worth?
Dawson's worth a lot more than he is, and I mean, I don't know what Watford were thinking. Perhaps that was in the contract before, but how and why they wanted him at the door, I do not know, because he's been superb. You all know I love Craig Dawson, and I think, but yeah, no brainer, 2 to 3 million. That would be the best 2 to 3 million we will spend for a long time, because if he can contain the same amount of quality for. I think is he like 32, 30, something like that?
I think he's 30.
30, yeah.
Yeah.
It says 31 this year.
Yeah,
so
if
for a
he can,
defender, for me, he's in his prime.
yeah.
Definitely.
If he can contain this kind of quality for 1-2 years, your money's back and more, really, isn't it? Because the quality he's bringing to us is superb, and he's such a Is he in the house?
I'm in the house, dog. How do you mean?
We can't see you, Pete.
Hey!
I'm in the house, dog. Straight up.
How you
See
doing,
you now.
The six gods here.
Pete?
What you're saying on Dawson, right? Do you think also, I don't know about all of you, but do you think sort of David Moyes is bringing the best out of him? Because
Oh,
he
yeah.
was,
I
Yeah.
do.
Yeah,
Right, 'cause,
I think
like,
with Moyes, I just think with all the players, the entire team that have
My days.
kind of the comments that have been made, and I've got a couple of friends of mine that are actually shall we say on the inside. I don't like using the word. I'm certainly not going to drop any names, but they work within the club. And the comments are that this is a completely different David Moyes from the David Moyes that was there, the first time round. The David Moyes that rocked up the first time round, was kind of was the big stick, kind of. If you didn't perform, it was the big stick. This David Moyes this time round is a completely different person. They consider him to be, one of the gang, one of the boys. He's there. It seems to be more of a family atmosphere rather than him coming in and being a manager. So with regards to Moyes this time round, I think what you're seeing is more of a camaraderie. Something that he's.
Yeah.
Hey, what on God's green earth are you doing, man? I'm going to mute him. You're seeing more of a. You see more of a team layout. You see more of a setup that the players want to play for him. And I make you right, James. I think he's bringing out the best in these players. People wouldn't have touched Dawson with a barge pole at the start of the season, and let's be honest, we didn't want to. As fans, we didn't want him to.
I'll tell you who is also a big influence on Dawson is Alan Irvine. Alan Irvine was manager at West Brom at the time when he had Dawson when he was younger, and that's one of the reasons why Dawson's end up coming. But yeah, here he is.
Right.
Dixie, baby!
Yo!
Yeah, we also got a lot of other links.
What happened, dog? What happened?
I've done you a
Jakey got
banner.
it right.
Just let him go.
Jakey
Just
got
let
it
him go.
right. Jakey got it right. 2-1, 2-1. Jakey got it right. Yes, Jake.
Hold up.
Oh, That was honestly at the end, that was squeaky bum time, dog, because like they were like on us.
First Johnny
And
Bush
like,
ever say that term.
yo, that was like, oh, the first goal from Antonio just put like our nerves at rest, which was great. Then I was fretting when we were going into the half, like, oh no, they're gonna score one, and they didn't. But then they came out, and like, then I'm like, no, don't score one, and then we did. Lingard, and then they're trying to pull that offside because Ben Rama. They thought he was offside. He wasn't. No, not Ben Rama. Fornals. He wasn't offside at all.
Definitely not.
And what a goal by Lingard. Lingard is the champion. Like, yo, Bale scares me, man, because like Bale's a good player, and I don't understand Mourinho's psychology because like he should be playing that man week in, week out, and like he decided to start him. I was scared, man. I was scared. And like it was squeaky bum time at like 30 minutes to the end, man. Like I couldn't watch. Like when extra time came up, I thought it would be like 3 minutes at the most. And it was 5 minutes. And I was like, I went into my room. I couldn't watch it. Like, honest to goodness, couldn't watch it. And I didn't. And like I was just pleased they didn't score.
I bet you're glad you didn't, Pete. You know why? Because they hit the post. I
saw the aftermath. That close. Like,
Very
my
close.
days.
Very close.
You know what, Mourinho is. Jakey's in the building, so I ain't gonna say nothing. But Mourinho is that. Mourinho is that, dog. He's Oscar the Grouch, like in an ugly suit, dog. Like, I don't like him. I didn't like Moyes, but like Moyes is like got a backroom team staff that like know what they're doing. I just don't like Mourinho. Anytime I could get one over on Mourinho, I'm happy. Straight up.
I think the thing that is that the reason why people don't tend to give him an awful lot of sympathy when things go wrong is quite simply because he's quite an arrogant, and I can't swear either because we've got a little fella here and it's before the week.
Absolutely.
So I'm just going to say he's an arrogant person.
He's an arrogant what's it. That's it. He's an arrogant what's it.
He's an arrogant. So when it goes,
like grumbling grunt things, dog. Grumbling grunt things, dog. How do you mean, man?
Yeah,
trust me.
You know it. So yeah,
and that's the first. That's the first win that David Moyes has got over Mourinho, isn't it?
It was.
That's his first win.
About
15 games. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
It's his first win.
Yeah. Yeah, no,
so,
it was,
I text all you lot. I text all you lot, man. I text Gatesy. I text Duke. I text Jake. Like, I was so happy. Like, that was, oh.
That was exactly like that.
Are you happy, Peach? Are you happy? Is that what you're telling me? You're telling me you're happy? I could be wrong. So, okay. So let's just bring this up. Now this is fantastic reading. Look at that. Now 25 games gone. 1-13, drew 6.
Still too many losses.
39.
Agreed.
Yeah. You look at the you look at the Arsenal and Chelsea game.
That's a better goal difference than what we have in the Village.
True. Very true.
I think it was.
We'll chop that up, man.
Okay, I've got a question for all 4 of you. 5 of you.
Go on, man.
Yeah. I've only had one bit. Okay, quick question. Gatesy.
Oh, I need another one. Yes, yo, you just reminded me, dog. I need another one. What do you mean?
Oh, it's gone again.
I got a different flavor this time. So go on.
It's like 1 o'clock.
Okay, Gatesy, you're up first. You ready?
Go for it.
This season, let's just theoretically say the season ends today.
Yeah.
Okay.
After the season we had last year.
Yeah.
And now this season, does us finishing 4th in the league and qualifying for Champions League, is that a bigger shockwave than Leicester when they won the league?
That's a bigger shockwave than a tsunami, man. How do you mean? How do you mean? That's a bigger shockwave than like a volcano in Nevada. This is massive, man.
Personally, I think so. Gatesy, you're up.
I'm going to say no. And the reason that I'm going to say no is because Leicester... Hang on, whoa. Let me explain.
You get me, dog. Jake gets me. Jake gets me, dog. Jake gets me.
Wait. Little bit of context. Leicester were promoted 2 seasons prior to them winning the Premier League.
Leicester are garbage.
Hang on. Let me finish. Leicester were promoted. They almost got relegated. They got out of it at the last knockings. They then sacked the manager that got them out of the relegation. They brought Ranieri in, who everybody thought was past it, and they ended up winning the Premier League. So
why did they sack him? Why did they sack him? That was the most cruel thing in the world to do, man.
In a racist incident.
What are you on about?
Nigel Pearson, same thing. Yes.
Yeah. There was a bit of a
Southampton. Why did they sack the man? Leicester. Why did they why did they sack the man?
I'm gonna mute him.
In my opinion, no. So just really sort of like to wrap it up, so you can move on and ask the others. In my opinion, no, because as I say, they'd been a Premier League team for 1 season before they'd won the Premier League, and that season they almost got relegated, and they changed their manager in between time. So no.
So Leicester's like a Blackburn.
What? Would you hang on a minute, Anvil? You're up.
All right. You mentioned Leicester City getting promoted. I was actually at that game when they got promoted to the Premier League in 2014 with the Doncaster fans, and Doncaster got relegated on goal difference. So I remember.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was the worst feeling I've ever felt in my life. But we'll talk about West Ham. Leicester winning the Premier League is going to be the greatest success story, I think, in Premier League history, because Blackburn had the players. They had a Shearer, Flowers, Sutton. Blackburn had the players.
They also had a lot of money.
And they had Kenny Dalglish.
Blackburn had...
I've muted him. He's driving me bloody mad. I've muted him for a minute. Anvil, keep going.
Right, okay. He's passionate, but I think the Leicester success story is something that's always going to live in Premier League history. The 5,000 to 1 odds of them winning the league as well, but they did it. And since then, Leicester's completely revamped. They've got the owners that care. They've got the director of football. They're building a really good team and attracting all the young players. So would West Ham getting into Europe be the greatest success story than Leicester winning the league? I would say no. But obviously, it's very nice for both clubs to get into Europe.
James, Fat Boy?
No, for me. I think Leicester was like the ultimate thing, wasn't it? Like that's the biggest prize you can win is the Premier League. So for me, Leicester were like phenomenal. They had world-class players in their ranks. They had Kante, they had Vardy, they had Mahrez. And all these players, but
he was bomb. No, for real though. That Wes Gordon guy, whatever his name was, he was a rock, dog. No business. He was a rock, dog.
I was in LA after Leicester won the Premier League, and I was in some bar. Heskey was in there with the Premier League trophy for all the Leicester fans, and Robert Huth, Christian Fuchs. And two other.
Christian Fuchs is a bad man.
Robert
no,
Hoof is a bad man.
He is though. He's a bad man, and that name that I can't get right, like Swatchwaku or Swoop.
Are you sure you're not? Can I ask a question? Paige, are you sure you're not from Dagenham, mate? I swear, you're so bad man. Like. You from Dagenham?
I'm from everywhere, dog. How do you mean? I'm from everywhere, dog. But sorry, James. Sorry, James. Continue on, dog. I apologize. Continue on.
You didn't get right. You're talking about Leicester's number 4 defender.
No, I was talking about he's the long-haired, like European.
No.
Suaku, Suachu,
Soyuncu.
Soyuncu.
That's Suachu. However you
Yeah,
see, I can't talk them words, dog.
Quality
Straight up.
defender.
Yeah, he's dope though.
Jake, bail us out here, kid. Come on, you're the voice of reason now. This is all on you. Bring some sort of sanity back to this madhouse asylum that we got going on.
Madhouse asylum. We beat the Spurs. What?
Right, I'm gonna say no, because I personally think when Leicester won the league, I thought they were almost the year before they were almost relegated. You know, they were almost kind of down and they were gone. People were writing them off, and for the next year, for them to come and win the league, I think was absolutely incredible. And I don't know how many 1-0s they won by. Wait, cheers, mate. There you go. Right. I think the amount of 1-0s they won on that season, I think that was incredible. And as much as top 4 for us would be incredible, even though we were all tipping us to be down by the relegation zone back in September, I think that just overrules it slightly, I think.
Jake, don't you find like something similar with like Leicester City and West Ham? Like we're getting those 1-0 wins now. Like even when we're not playing good at all. We're getting those 1-0 wins now. You know what I mean? So we're going in the right direction, I think, man, because I hear what you're saying, and that's a good point.
Peach, go on then. Give me your opinion.
I don't got one.
We'll be here for another hour.
It's a top 4 party. It's a top 4 party. It's a top 4 party all day. It's a top 4 party. It's a top 4 party. If you like it, it's going our way.
Do I detect that you're a little bit happy, Peach? Would I be right in saying that?
Yo, this game, everybody says like this game and that game's like the biggest game of the season. And I agree with that. But like this game was massive because now like we go into the run-in playing like what? West Brom, Leeds. I know we play City next, but it's kind of like benefiting us, man. Like if we keep playing the way we're playing, that Champions League music is in my head, dog. Like
the only thing that is there.
Thank you. Tomato soup and croutons with some Champions League things. How do you mean, man?
Russ is getting the Champions League music ready.
Love it.
So he should. He should.
Gives me goosebumps when I hear it these days.
When do you think we're going to start getting the plaudits and the stuff that we deserve from you know, the TV broadcasters, the pundits, everything else? You know, we're there. We're 4th place, and we're deservedly 4th place. You know, it's not something that we've lucked upon. It's not something that's been, you know, kind of handed to us. I know everyone's saying, you know, it's one of them crazy seasons. You know, the pandemic has hit this, that, the other. I fully understand that. Fully understand it, but when are we going to start getting the plaudits? When a match of the day going to start going, West Ham deserve this? When are the Mark Lawrenson? I tell you what, I can't wait to stamp up. Anyway, when are we going to start? Right. I personally think we've had a fantastic season. Yet it seems to be being brushed under the carpet as being part of this. The pandemic, it's a crazy season, blah, blah, blah.
I like that, though. I like that. Keep it under the radar, Duke.
They look at it like because Liverpool are falling apart, that's why West Ham are there, and why Chelsea have had a poor spell, why Tottenham have played bad, why Arsenal have played bad.
That's nothing new.
West Ham.
Boom. And you know what? When I was watching the match today with my father, it's like these pundits, like commentators, whatever, like it was all like Spurs this, Spurs that, Spurs this, Spurs that. Like we're lucky. Like,
but you know,
off, man. We're not lucky, man.
But you know what?
We're playing good football, man.
Yeah, but do you know what? I'm actually glad they're not talking about us because we're proving people wrong. So, you know what I mean?
On the
Keep it under
telly,
the carpet,
on there,
dog. Word up.
on Sky, they couldn't have wanted Gareth Bale to score any more, could they?
No,
Word.
I said
thought that,
Bale, and that's
yeah.
exactly what he did. He bailed, and he can bail back to Madrid.
I think he might. Gentlemen, I'm going to start wrapping it up there. So we'll go round the
Good, 'cause
table.
I'm bloody
Pete,
hungry.
final thoughts? Peach, talk to me.
Now he's quiet. Now he's like,
You're
Me?
You're lost
Oh,
in
no.
silence. Yes.
I know. Listen, I can be loud, but I want everybody to get their voices in. So everybody go first. I'll go last because I got a whole bunch to say, man.
Oh, okay. I'll tell you what.
Straight up.
Jakey boy.
Right, happy
Jakey boy,
days.
the floor is yours.
We're sat in 4th position. Yes, you heard me right. 4th position going into
Go
what
on,
are we
Jake.
Cheers, mate. We're going into that into game week 20 something or other now, and we're sat in 4th position. We've got an Antonio hopefully coming back to fully fitness. We've just beat Spurs. We've got the machine that is Manchester City next week, which I have no doubt is going to be very, very hard. But you know, we've got to go up there with a bit of hope, haven't we? A bit of hope, a bit of peachness, a bit of positivity. And come on, you Irons. Thank you very much.
Jake, as always, eloquently put. James.
Very eloquently put, man.
Over to you, my friend.
I'm proud, mate. I feel proud to be a West Ham fan at the minute. At the end of the day, we've had some hard times at this club, and it's been tough at times. I've seen relegations. I've seen us lose all our best players at key times, like because the bigger clubs come calling. But now I'm looking at a team that wants to fight for the badge, heart, desire, passion, commitment. And you know what? I'm just going to enjoy it. We've got 13 games to go. I'm not going to look at where we're going to finish. We'll talk about that at the end of April. But at the minute, I feel proud. It actually makes me a bit emotional because I've seen us through bad times. Do you know what I mean? But I'm a proud Emma.
I agree with that, James. I echo that sentiment totally. James from the Anvil, over to you, my friend.
Yeah, I think the season's been terrific, as we all are saying, and everyone can attest that West Ham are having a really good season right now. I'm not in the business really of saying we're going to get in the top 7 or even in Champions League place or what have you. I'm not into that business because I don't want to say anything right now and then it not happen and give everyone false hope. I just want to see if we can go as far as we can. And signs are very positive. We're on 45 points right now. We're on track to potentially beat our Premier League best ever points tally, and who knows where we can go. I think Man City next week, we shouldn't be scared of them. Yes, they are an absolute war machine, but we shouldn't be scared of them. We are a different team now. We've got new mentality. We don't fear anyone. We work together, and we're getting the best out of everybody. So really, the only way is up from here.
And dare I say it, over to you, Peach. Thanks for that, James.
I ain't scared of Liverpool. I ain't scared of Tottenham. I ain't scared of City, dog. Like, real talk. I ain't scared of none of these teams, man, because the way that we're playing, it's like, I remember Greece back in the day, they were in the Euros, and their defensive unit was solid like a rock. Our defensive unit is solid. We have the players to go up front. I'm not afraid of anybody, man. I see, and you know what? I'll call it. I ain't jinxing nothing. I'll call it. I see a top 4 finish. I see us in the Champions League. I see us getting better next season. Like, even if the board want to, like, kind of, like, have short arms and long pockets, Moyes and that Justin cat who helps him do his scouting, they can get some people in, dog. We're going to be good. We're gonna be good. We've just started the uphill crest, man. Trust me. Come on, you Irons.
Thank you very much, Peach. And over to the big man.
Well, I don't think I've got much else to say after the fact that Peach has just compared us to, you know, the 2004 Greek side. So I think I'm going to struggle slightly. What I will say is. I'm going to go with Peach and what Peach said. I'm not okay. It's City next week, and they are a machine. And it's going to be a difficult game. To say I'm scared, no. I was probably more scared of that last 10 minutes against Spurs today than I will be for the game next week. City are a machine, but they were a machine a few years ago when we went there and we got the points. They were a machine when we played them before at the start of the season. Okay, they're on a roll now, but they're still the same team. They're still the same 11 players that are going to be going out there, same as us. We're just going out there with a different mentality. So, I can see us being up, and I can see us being up there. I can see us. Listen, that music that's ringing through all of our ears right now. That music that is there, that we want to hear next season. You know something? That's big. That's big for a club like us. And I hate to say it, but I think we can finish third. Ooh, I'm going to be brave. I think we can finish third. It's there. It's on. Listen. We're not even out of talk for the top four. Let's not mess around. So let's throw my hat in the ring. We're there for top three, not just top five. We're in for top three.
Fair enough, Duke. Fair enough. Okay, so just to wrap this up, so anyone that doesn't know what's been going on, West Ham played Tottenham Hotspur at London Stadium today. Michael Antonio, after 5 minutes, 1-0 to West Ham. Jesse Lingard, 47 minutes, made it 2-0 to West Ham. Lucas Moura then made it a little bit nervy when he made it 2-1 to reduce the deficit to 2-1, I should say. But we got it to full time, 2-1 to the Cockney boys. And we are in fourth place. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in fourth place.
We are massive. We are
massive. Duke, thank you very much, mate. I am going to hit the big red buttons and I'm going to bid everyone a fond farewell. Before I do, real quick, guys, anyone that's watching, you can see on the screen there the Isla's Army, the Just Giving page and the PayPal. Guys, if any of you got a couple of shekels in your pocket, I know times are tough. But these guys are having it tougher than most. So if you've got anything that you can sort of bring to the pot, that would be much appreciated. Thank you very much for listening. As you can see on the below, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. You can follow us on Twitter at Forged Talk. You can follow us on Facebook, Forged from Iron. And thank you for watching. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. Come on, you Irons.